She was 31 years old, just driving home from an appointment. She lived with her mom and dad, and she was almost home, and now her parents are planning a life without their daughter. She was gunned down in her car in her own parents' neighborhood. Her name was Alicia Hall. The neighborhood, often quiet near Montgomery and Tramway, and the shooting happened 1 week ago today. Police say the man who shot her, this guy, he was in the middle of a mental health crisis. And that part of the story has sparked a plea from the city's newest arm, the Public Safety Department, and for everyone to keep a watchful eye on your neighbors. Julie Frendeck is here. And Julie, you were in on a very candid conversation between neighbors and police following the shooting.
I was, Ryan. That was last Tuesday, just a day after this tragedy. Neighbors had concerns about how this happened, and police shared some insight on the investigation. Albuquerque Community Safety played a role in that meeting also, outlining some of the resources our city has to offer. At this point, ACS is responding to about 1,000 calls per month, most having to do with mental health, substance use, and homelessness. But they can handle more, and they're asking people to stay vigilant for the sake of your neighbors in need. Tragedy struck Albuquerque's Glenwood Hills neighborhood last Monday. Neighbors are now left with two losses. The victim, 31-year-old Alicia Hall. Neighbors spoke highly of her.
She was the most kind-hearted, wonderful young lady that you'd ever want to meet.
And the suspect, John Hunter. Police say he killed her and shot two others during a shooting spree outside of his home before police shot and killed him. They say he was suffering from a mental crisis.
That mental health crisis led him to kind of explode, if you will, that started a chain of events that led to what happened.
The city's newest arm of the Public Safety Department, Albuquerque Community Safety, sheds light on how that explosion could have been avoided.
A big part of neighborhood watches is making sure that, you watch out for each other. So there are ways to really be involved without being too involved or evasive in someone's life. And that's just waving and checking in and seeing if, getting some eye contact.
Leaders say catching signs early that your neighbors might be struggling is key.
If you see something or hear something, right, the neighbor's house consistently feels like there's a lot going on there, or maybe you have somebody that is having mental behavioral health issues and they kind of show up in different ways. So sometimes we wait and we're like, I don't know if I should. This really feels scary. What if they hurt? What if he gets hurt? What if, police come out and something worse happens? Police and ACS and fire are all trained to really work with folks that have those mental behavioral health.
48 ACS responders are now taking about 1,000 calls per month. They respond in the same way APD or AFR would to any other emergency. After a tragedy like what happened last week, city leaders hope to see a heightened sense of what your neighbors could be going through.
Check in on them. Hey, are you okay? Are you doing all right? If you start to feel the sense of, any sort of sense that like maybe something's not okay, this is where calling the 311 would be appropriate.
ACS leaders say effects of trauma like this can show up days, weeks, even months after any incident. You can reach Albuquerque Community Safety through 311, even 911, Ryan.
Julie, thanks for that.